All right, so there's the BMW, but we're in the van today. Hello, y'all. We are back for another adventure. So with that new battery there, I'm still a little hesitant on installing that. So let's see if this thing will crank up on the old one after sitting. Oh, listen to that thing crank up. So yeah, I'm gonna go return that battery. That sounded healthy enough to make me happy. So I'm off to run a few errands. Let's see how this thing will do, and then I'll be throwing in spark plugs, an oil change, and a handful of other parts coming up later. So we'll see what happens. All right, peace. So this thing survived. Did a bunch of errands, didn't need to put in that new battery, so all is well. And I also got my wife some flowers. So just a heads up, gentlemen. Get your ladies some flowers. I'm gonna put some injector cleaner and some oil additives in this as I prepare to do an oil change. I'll probably try to put a few hundred miles on this before an oil change to help break down any sludge or any other garbage that's kind of floating around in there before doing that. I'm also gonna request from the person and business I bought this from if they do have any of the service records or anything. That would be kind of nice to know what was done to it. But it was fleet serviced, so I don't think there'll be any record on like a Carfax. And then also the radio. Speakers are gone in this thing. So I'm gonna probably pull apart these at some point because they're down in there and figure out a plan. I just kind of want some basic Bluetooth. So I've been using my Bluetooth speaker in my RAM mounts holder, which I'll leave a link to that in the description. But yeah, this thing is amazing. Multiple different mounts, multiple everything. So they also make motorcycle stuff, which I've had on my various motorcycles. So yeah, RAM mounts, good products. So yeah, this definitely has to get put out with something newer. Would be nice to get something with the screen and a backup cam, because this is very difficult to back up into traffic. You got some pretty wild blind spots back over there that there's nothing you can do about. All right, let's add some oil additives. All right, guys, still whipping the van. I think I'm about to get pulled over. Let's see what happens. Nope. Never mind. Cops just cruising out. All right, so I'm out here on a job, and I locked myself out. As you can see, the keys are just chilling in the ignition. All doors are locked. RIP. So I'm gonna see if I can jimmy this thing into this door and get that open. All right, those are the magic tools. So I was able to get in. That was incredibly frustrating, and I'm still pissed that whole thing happened. But yeah, note to self, don't lock your keys in the car. All right, back off to this job. Adios. After getting locked out today and a full day of work, let's put in some new headlights. So these new LED projector things were on Amazon. Link is in the description. So these are the 7x6s, which are basically a direct fit for these. So it's pretty easy. It's really only like 6 screws aside, and then this whole thing comes out, and then put the other ones in. So I'm gonna throw you guys on the tripod and pull one of these out. So there are 4 screws, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. I'm gonna try to just take these out without actually pulling the angle adjustment for that. Might be creating more work for myself than what it's really worth. I also don't want to take anything out that I really don't have to. Ooh, that was crispy. If there's a better way to do this, feel free to let me know in the comments. Holy corrosion. So that was absolutely caked in there. So now I can get the remaining 3 screws out of there and then bolt this back into place. Hopefully I don't strip these things out. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so before I put this back in, I want to see which projector lights up on each of those. Low beam and high beam, and then see if it's possible. Is one supposed to be the left? Is one supposed to be the right? Or do you just flip it upside down? So I'm gonna go plug those in really quick. All right, so they do in fact have stamping numbers on, or excuse me, stamping letters on the back of them. So there's the left side, and then there's the right side not illuminated. So I also just swapped this one to that side to confirm that both fixtures do in fact light up. So I must have a ground issue or something for this headlight. So this one was dim when the car was on, and then this thing was out, and then when I jiggled the connector, it lit up. So I'm gonna try to grab my multimeter and see what's happening with this side. Start the install process, and I'll figure out the other one later. It's got a little spring in there, just want to make sure that's lined up. And then I'm going to put the housing in first, then the headlights. So after looking around a little bit more, I think I figured out why that side's not lighting up. Look at how rusty that ground is. So I'm gonna take that off, hit it with some sandpaper, because that's connected to the headlight wiring that drops down. And if I'm feeling ambitious, I'll just touch that one up as well. I'm gonna try to locate some sandpaper, otherwise I might have to do something a little janky with an angle grinder if I do have that. In today's van adventures, I'm gonna be diagnosing the passenger side headlight, why that's not getting power. Air filter, maybe some spark plugs if the engine cools down enough. I know I'm kind of on a timetable today. Wipers, and potentially might take the interior door cards out in anticipation for new speakers. So let's jump right into it. So to get that air filter out, just 2 little clips. Wiggle that deal. It doesn't look terrible. I mean, it's dusty, but not the worst I've ever seen. But as a precautionary measure, we're just going to replace it anyways. This is our nice new cartridge. So my dad's out here helping me take off that old lettering, or the glue residue, which is pretty sweet.
Denatured alcohol.
Denatured alcohol and a little bit of elbow grease.
And a plastic razor blade.
And a plastic razor. So, see, there's just still a little bit left here. I'm gonna need to hit the plastic razor blade, but hopefully it's gonna make this thing look a lot more presentable. And then Little paint flaking through, so I gotta figure out what I want to do with that. And this front corner looks like that was hit with whiteout or something like that, but it's getting there. So I'm going to check on the spark plug. So to get this thing out, I've got 2 clips on either side, and then 2 screws on this side. This panel comes out, and then the same on that side. I'm going to zip those out, and I'll show you guys what the engine looks like from here. So it seems like I got to take the seats out to get this thing fully out. Not really feeling that, so I'm going to shimmy it from side to side to do the plugs. So here's the passenger side. The plugs are way down in there. Wow, it looks like garbage. So you can see there's a little bit of rust on the ceramic down in there. So I'm assuming these things are pretty dated. So I'm going to pull out the ones on the passenger side, show you what those look like. And due to the tightness of this area, sorry if the footage doesn't look that great. Plugs are gonna have to wait for another day, unfortunately. Those spark plug wires are, I'm not gonna say welded to the plugs, but they're on there, especially with how close those things run to the exhaust. So I think I'm gonna order a new set of those before doing this, because I do expect to damage a few. Unfortunate, but it is what it is, right? So let's get that oil change and headlight issue out of the way. So the headlights are fixed. It, in fact, was a bad ground on the passenger side. So now these are aimed, level, all set up. So I ended up just attaching another ground to the side mount on the fender, and that seemed to do it. Fairly easy. All right, let's get that oil change out of the way, and that'll probably wrap up this day of van work. All right, not my worst, not my best. Thing is rusty, but not the worst I've seen. fill her up. So this thing takes 4.5 quarts. Put you guys there. So this thing takes 4.5 quarts. Shout out to Costco. I opted for the extended capacity oil filter. So there's another part number for an AC Delco oil filter that was larger than the original one that came on these. And so I decided to go with that. Kind of just because it'd make me feel better. Having a little bit larger oil filter, more filter surface area. It feels just about like 4.5 quarts. Pretty close, not quite on the money. Let's fire it up, check the level, see where we're at. And we are just about at the top. All right, end of the day, I'm basically back at the apartment. So let's do a headlight test. Wow. Yeah, those are very bright. Yep, gonna do some damage with those things. Sweet. All right, well, this wraps up this episode. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.